Alex Palou looks to continue his legendary season.
Pure perfection.
And hold off O'Ward, Kirkwood in the pack as the IndyCar Series roars into Ohio. Sunday at 1 Eastern on Fox. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
The official IndyCar app, powered by NTT Data, puts the pulse-pounding action of IndyCar right at your fingertips. Never miss a lap with the latest news, highlights, and live race coverage. Track every move with real-time leaderboards, interactive maps, onboard cameras, and driver radio. Your all-access pass to every race, every moment, every day. Download the official IndyCar app now.
The second half of the 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series begins here and now at Mid-Ohio with qualifying. Group 1 underway at Mid-Ohio. There are your drivers: Lundgaard, O'Ward, Colton Herta, Kiffin Simpson, Christian Rasmussen. Marcus Ericsson is on track, the team having rebuilt his car after the crash that we saw in practice too. Nolan Siegel, Scott McLaughlin, Connor Daly, Devlin DiFrancesco, Stingray Robb, Santino Ferrucci and Jacob Abel. With McLaughlin up to second place, we now pull to Christian Lundgaard, who's having a mighty lap, 1.1 seconds to the good. This will see him through into the fastest 6 of the session so far, and it takes him all the way to the top with a brilliant 1:05.2. Now back on board with Rasmussen down in 11th, but has looked fast all the way through this weekend. 4/10 up as he navigates his way through turn 9. Will be exiting to the line, and over the line for Rasmussen will take him up into the top 6 and into 4th. So on the outside looking in, Colton Herta. It's a nice looking lap from him, 4/10 to the good. And up to second.
That's a big old margin for Christian Lundgaard. That's a very solid lap, a little bit quicker than what we saw in practice. Of course, that was on the hard tires. Track temp up over 20 degrees from what we saw in practice. That changes things significantly for these drivers. As Connor Daly jumps in there, Stingray Robb, both the JHR cars currently sitting inside the top 6.
Wow. And with only 15 seconds of the session remaining, what can Nolan Siegel do? He's down by a considerable margin at the moment. Ferrucci is up, so too this man. Christian Rasmussen, 1/10 to the good, up through turn 5. Now down into 6 and through the sweepers. Christian Rasmussen, who has had 1 podium so far this year, his first in the NTT INDYCAR Series, has come on so strong over recent races. Just 1 corner remains as he blasts it down to the line. Oh, and a big moment for him. Over the line for Christian Rasmussen. And it's good enough for 4th.
Good enough for 4th. 4 now. Checkered flag is out. The Goodhart Chevy Stingray Robb trying to work his way back in. He's just about there, only a 10th off. Needs a good run out of 9, but it's going the wrong way.
How about Scott McLaughlin? What a disaster for Team Penske this weekend. He's 1,700s down. He's starting to claw back. If he can keep up this grab here, he might get a shot. 1 corner to go. It's going to take a big chunk. I don't think it's enough.
It's nip and tuck for Scott McLaughlin over the line. Is it enough? It's not for Scott McLaughlin. Nolan Siegel, though, is up. Nolan Siegel is just under a 1/10 of a second to the good coming through. Can he make his way into the 6 and depose Daly? He can, and it's good enough for 4th place. So Lundgaard, Ericsson, Herta, Siegel, Rasmussen, and Simpson progress.
And guys, Pato O'Ward does not. The de facto team leader of the McLaren squad, out-qualified by both his teammates, does not advance to Q2.
But look at McLaughlin, 1:05.8. There's a Chevy quickest with Lundgaard in P1. McLaughlin did not appear to be impeded. He's going to start 21st tomorrow.
2 McLarens make it through, but it's not the 2 that we'd normally expect. It's Lundgaard and Siegel with Ericsson, Herta, Rasmussen, and Kiffin Simpson. So here's a look at who progresses. Kiffin Simpson on a fantastic run at the moment. So too Christian Rasmussen. Hats off to Nolan Siegel as well. Colton Herta overcoming a difficult start to the weekend. Marcus Ericsson putting that crash this morning behind him. And Christian Lundgaard, fastest of all, a 1:05.2. Now we will see a big name fallout in this session. There's no two ways about it. Here's the lineup. It's Palou, Foster, Rosenqvist, Dixon, Kirkwood and Newgarden, Armstrong and Power, Eilert, Malukas, Rahal, Rossi, VK and Schwartzman. We will lose some big names in this second part of qualifying. Kevin, what can you tell us about who's running what tire?
Well, one thing I'll note is of those that advanced, Marcus Ericsson in Group 1 is the only one that used 2 sets of the softs. So make a note of that for round 2. In this group, Louis Foster used the same strategy to win the pole at Road America. He is on softs to start. So is Felix Rosenqvist, Robert Schwartzman, Alexander Rossi, Rinus VK, and Graham Rahal was the last to roll off.
Through the sweepers now for Carl Kirkwood. No corners left, just absolutely on the gas. Over the line for him, and that is the fastest time of the session so far, a 105.5.
And he's going to try to push again.
Oh, below to the top, a 105.2 matches and in fact improves on Lundgaard's 105.28.
A lot of drivers below the cutoff are tracking green. Of course, if you're below that 6th place of Rinus VK, anything that's green, that's to VK's lap. Now to Armstrong's lap as VK gets bumped out. A lot of drivers so close to that lap time.
Under 30 seconds remain on board with Scott Dixon, who has not had it his own way, has not had it easy in qualifying this year, and he's tracking down. He will get another run at it.
Oh, it's going to be close. Dixon just makes it.
Josef Newgarden, we're talking hundredths of a second for the Penske driver to transfer in. Moves up to 6th and deposes Dixon, but only just and only for now, as every driver now on their last lap. Flag is out, times will count. What's Kirkwood got? Can he improve from a 105.5? Kirkwood stays where he is, now on board with Dixon. 100th of a second. Less than 100th of a second, half 100th of a second, now 2/10 up for Scott Dixon as Malukas jumps up to 5th place. Newgarden deposed down to 7th, but is tracking up, as is Dixon, as is Armstrong. Will Power, though, is down and out. Can Newgarden save Penske's blushes, or will he go the same way as Power and McLaughlin?
Little correction from Dixon through turn 4. He lost a little bit of time, but he's making it back up here.
This is where he was strong. A little slow in, but great power down and a great exit for Dixon. It looks good enough.
Big lap from Scott Dixon. About a quarter of a second to the good. Takes into P3. Has Newgarden got enough? I'm not sure, because that Dixon lap looks to have put it beyond Josef Newgarden. The horror show for Penske continues. Newgarden is out. Power is out. McLaughlin is out. Palou is fastest. Louis Foster once again with a phenomenal lap. Dixon is through, Kirkwood is through, Armstrong and Rossi make it through to the 12.
Team Penske will start on row 9 and side by side on row 11. Are you kidding me?
But there are your 12 who progress. Christian Lundgaard, Ericsson, Herta, Siegel, Rasmussen and Simpson, Palou and Foster, Dixon and Kirkwood, Armstrong and Rossi. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Louis Foster for me has been one of the most impressive qualifiers of this half a season that we've had so far. As a rookie coming in, okay, he knows the majority of the tracks from Indy Next. He doesn't know this car, he doesn't know these tires, and he's certainly not used to this level of competition.
And look, you just got to compare him against his teammate Graham Rahal. 4/10 was the benefit, was the advantage that he had, and over Graham, who was no slouch around this place. He's qualified well here, he's raced well here, he's won here. So yeah, the job that this young guy is doing in this kind of second part of the season, he's gotten his feet wet, he's starting to understand the processes and procedures of being an IndyCar driver versus being an Indy Next driver, and he's really coming into his own.
I wonder how close they'll get to that threshold in the race tomorrow, if it's already getting to that point. Just in qualifying here today, 8.5 minutes remain on the clock. Lundgaard with the 107.3, Foster with the 108.6, as everyone just winds themselves up and gets their... Oh! Big moment for Louis Foster. Rear wheels onto the dirt, but holds it and continues. You all right, Townsend?
I've been that guy in that seat with my right rear hanging off the exit of turn 1. It did not end pretty, and with Louis Foster, I could tell he didn't want to lift. He was laying into the throttle. Let's take another look here. Man, wow. That thing almost flew out from under him.
You got to remember, that's a 140-mile-an-hour minimum speed corner, so you are absolutely hauling the mail through there in an Indy car. Steering's all loaded. If you have one of those snaps, it can be so hard to catch. But cat-like reflexes on the young man from Odium, England.
Pretty vicious wiggle there through turn 10 for Christian Lundgaard. He comes to the front straightaway here. See how he does in turn 1. It's all about getting to this apex. It's hard to see when you turn in. He does a great job. Nails turn 1.
141-mile-an-hour minimum speed as he's back
Oh, no,
off.
he's got an issue.
Oh.
I don't know why we're putting him on situation. I catch him if I kept pushing.
Does he have a temperature issue with the hybrid, perhaps? Because that was an absolutely magic turn 1. That's the best run I've seen all weekend.
That was nailed. Absolutely nailed. Kevin, what's going on, mate?
Or is it fuel?
Yeah, he's concerned about the car that's in front of him, and I think he was asking, why did we put him out, his teammate Nolan Siegel, in front of me? Because I'm catching him, so he's going to have to abort another lap. He's only going to get 1 lap.
Wow. I mean, we were just talking about how the gap we thought was pretty good.
And now you've got a full lap additionally on the tires. You've got to mentally get regrouped, focused, lock in. And that's a really frustrating situation. I didn't necessarily see Nolan Siegel, and there's no reason why Nolan Siegel could have gotten out of the way of his teammate. So that was a bit of a surprise.
And all the while, everyone else is improving on the strategy that they wanted to take. Their ultimate strategy. Kirkwood improves to a 1:05.4. Look at the time of Simpson. 7/10 to the good over Dixon. Armstrong is up. Rossi is up. Everybody from 7 to 12 is up as it stands at the moment. Simpson up to 3rd. That's a lovely lap from Kiffin as Palou to the top on a 1:05.2 again. Ericsson now to 4th. Can Siegel and Herta hold on? What have they got in the tank as we enter the final 30 seconds of this top 12 shootout to make the Firestone Fast Six? Rasmussen improves, but only as far as 7th.
Still a lot of green in the bottom half of that pylon. Herta goes across the line. Up to P2 now, right behind Palou. Just 1/10 of a second separates them. Now Siegel up to P3. Great lap.
That is a monster lap from Nolan Siegel. The question is Lundgaard good enough? He is.
A 1:05.1, easily the fastest lap that we have seen so far this weekend. And Foster goes even quicker, a 1:05.0. Incredible lap from Louis Foster. No one else is improving. That will be it. Simpson is there or thereabouts, actually. If Simpson gets a decent exit, Simpson, is he going to depose Kirkwood? He has.
Wow.
Kirkwood's out.
Dixon's got a shot.
Rasmussen is improving. But we are really talking nip and tuck here. It's hundredths of a second for these guys. Rasmussen.
Misshift. Rasmussen grabbed a downshift there. Scott Dixon's close. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Wow. There is a surprise. Scott Dixon is out. Marcus Ericsson is done as well. One of the fastest drivers of this weekend so far. But Kyle Kirkwood, that is your story. 2nd in the championship and only 7th fastest in the top 12. Louis Foster, quickest on a 1:05.0 from Lundgaard and Palou, Colton Herta. But Siegel and Simpson, the surprises of the day. Nolan Siegel's career best start, P6 at Barber earlier this year. Kiffin Simpson has never been in the Firestone Fast Six. Louis Foster took his first ever NTT INDYCAR Series pole last time out at Road America. Lundgaard, Palou and Herta all looking to return to top spot.
Firestone Fast Six.
Well, here we go. I'm looking forward to this one. Palou already out on track in the new Open AI livery. He has been crushingly dominant this season, but he has only 2 pole positions to his name. I say only 2 pole positions to his name. He is the only driver this season with more than 1 pole position. Can he make it 3?
All right, here's a random stat for you guys.
Hit me.
Fast Six appearances this season, counting today. Palou, 7. Herta, 6. Lundgaard, 5. Foster 3, Siegel 2, Simpson 1. That's your current top 6. Almost a perfect.
That's including today.
Including today.
Wow.
So a wide variety, a wide array of different levels of Fast Six experience so far this year.
Well, based on the numbers, you would expect Palou, Herta, and Lundgaard to be the ones duking it out for pole. But, I mean, Louis Foster, he'll be on used reds here, just like at Road America.
Served him well last time.
So it seemed like one hand tied behind your back, but at Road America, not the case. Those used reds delivering for Louis Foster.
And I'm just trying to think back and trying to look back. I don't think Kiffin Simpson did red, so I'm pretty sure he has a new set.
We'll have to see if we can get an update on pit lane regarding tires left there. But there you see Kiffin Simpson sitting on definitely used reds. So it doesn't look like he's going to try to make 2 runs here. So Foster and Simpson used tires. You've got 4 Hondas and 2 Chevys battling for pole. And you think about the performance between the 2 engines on this track. I was talking to some of the team personnel during the lunch break, and general consensus is maybe Chevy's making a little bit more peak power, but the grunt mid-range of the Honda is still pretty fat, pretty strong.
2 McLarens, 2 Ganassis, 1 RLL, and 1 Andretti. This is the driver of that Andretti, Colton Herta. How he would love to get back to the top step of the podium here.
This guy here would love to get back to the podium.
Oh yeah.
And get that first win for this new team.
2 pole positions to his name. His last one coming back in 2023 for Christian Lundgaard. It's been a while.
He converted that one to a victory. That was on the streets of Toronto, his first and only career victory.
Ooh. Little correction through turn 1 for Christian Lundgaard. Not quite as on it, not quite as dialed as he was that last time that we saw him through there when he had to bail out of the lap.
You know, we're 9 races in, soon to be 10 races into the season, and with Christian Lundgaard joining McLaren, I think we can all say that he has delivered on expectations. He has delivered on that big contract that they laid out to Lundgaard to make the move from Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. He's shown leadership, he's shown poise, he's shown patience and pace.
100%.
Really a nice package. I don't know if you have any conflicting opinion there, but I think Lundgaard has nailed it.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, he's still got some learning to do, I think, from Pato on the ovals. You know, you got one of the best guys to learn from, but he's only had a couple chances at it with this team and with this car. Big difference from what he's used to at RLL. So overall, it's been a very strong season, as you see Palou there kind of battling the back end of that number 10.
Lundgaard reminds me so much of the great Simon Pagenaud in terms of a very analytical approach, delivering right away with big expectations at a new team, and still taking his time to learn ovals. It took a few years for Pagenaud, and then he finally, you know, became one of the best ever, winning an Indy 500 and delivering for Team Penske. As this guy Alex Palou has delivered maybe more than ever expected.
Foster to the top of the times, and I think he's done for the day unless he's having a cool down lap. But this guy, Alex Palou, looking to make it his 3rd pole position of the season as the clock enters the final minute. Palou is almost a second to the good over Louis Foster. Under the bridge and over the line, Alex Palou, it's a 1 minute and 5.2. Has anybody got anything in the tank to take it to him? And Palou continues to improve. 30 seconds on the clock, and Palou going to stretch his legs and take it even further away, but Lundgaard is up through the first couple of corners.
Colton Herta crossing the line. That's it. He is backed out P2 for the 26th.
So Colton Herta second as it stands, but not for much longer because Simpson jumps up to second on a 105.9. Siegel improves to 5th. Lundgaard down on the ultimate time of Palou, but Palou stretching away. 1.3 tenths up, 1.4 tenths up. Almost 2 tenths up now for Alex Palou, who is coming down through 5 and into 6. We ride on board with Lundgaard who is hundredths of a second away. It will be between Palou and Lundgaard for pole position here at Mid-Ohio. Has Lundgaard got enough? He's tracking up, then he's tracking down. It is nip and tuck. 1 corner remains.
Might be good enough for second, but Alex Palou continues to improve.
Lundgaard over the line. Goes to second. And that is as good as it's going to get.
P2.
Palou improved to a 105.0. Lundgaard a 105.2. Kiffin Simpson, driver of the day as far as I'm concerned in P3, 105.9. Herter, Foster, Siegel comes home sixth.
And Kiffin did that on a used set of reds.
Oh, Siegel jumped up right at the end.
P3, nice job, pal.
He did that on a used set of reds, which is impressive because we look back, he didn't do red in Q1. He's saving an extra set for the race, so he's starting third with 2 sets of sticker reds in the bank. That's an incredible decision and performance from Kiffin Simpson.
And I think encouraging for the race tomorrow is the lap time of Louis Foster. I know he's P6, but the reason I look at that time, Will, is 106.2 is more than a second slower than Alex Palou and more than a second slower than what Louis Foster did on sticker soft tires. What that tells me is there's a pretty good fall off as the red runs lap after lap, and it makes for a great race.
This guy back to the top. It's his 3rd pole position of 2025. His first one since the Indy GP. So here's your grid for Mid-Ohio tomorrow. Palou and Lundgaard, Kiffin, Simpson and Siegel. It's Ganassi, McLaren, then the Andretti and the RLL.
Yeah, just looking at row 4, 2 Hondas there with Kyle Kirkwood. He will have an extra set of the new softer tires to put to good use.
Some big issues down here. Row 7 for Pat O'Ward. Row 9 for Josef Newgarden. The Penske problems continue.
And row 11 for McLaughlin and Will Power. A horror show for Penske once again, but it is Alex Palou who will lead the field to green tomorrow here at Mid-Ohio. Can anyone deny the man who has won 6 of the first 9 races of this season? Coming up next on FS1, Major League Baseball, the New York Yankees take on crosstown rivals the New York Mets. But first, we send you to Kevin Burkhardt in Los Angeles.
Alex Palou looks to continue his legendary season
Pure perfection.
and hold off O'Ward, Kirkwood in the pack as the IndyCar Series roars into Ohio. Sunday at 1 Eastern on Fox. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
The official IndyCar app, powered by NTT Data, puts the pulse-pounding action of IndyCar right at your fingertips. Never miss a lap with the latest news, highlights, and live race coverage. Track every move with real-time leaderboards, interactive maps, onboard cameras, and driver radio. Your all-access pass to every race, every moment, every day. Download the official IndyCar app now.